Good evening, friends, dignitaries. Really insightful session since the last couple of hours. Mr. Kala talking about the kind of transformation that is happening in Rajasthan. Really lots of advancements on technology, and Samsung has been privileged to be part of some of them. Mr. Abhay Kumar talked about how technology is changing and changing so fast that every 6 months there is something new happening, and probably going forward, it would be in a few months or weeks as well that things will start changing. I think what Madam Radha talked about, what I liked the most was that if change has to be brought in, it has to be brought in with a dead end right now. It can't be that two things can go on, because then we as individuals will never be able to adopt to the thing that we need to for future. And we salute you, ma'am, for all the good work that you've done. We as partners did go through a lot of pain, and we reached out to you. But now that we see that, yes, there was an end to the DGS Indie era and starting with the GEMS era, things are far better, far transparent, and far professional for people like us. So thank you very much, ma'am, for that. As I would like to now, over the next 15-20 minutes, talk about how smart governance is happening and how Samsung is enabling this, keeping in mind the mobility. You know, if we look at how the landscape of technology is changing, earlier Ajay also talked about how new things are coming up. I mean, if we look at, these were the buzzwords which were there maybe a year or 2 years back. Augmented reality, blockchain, drones, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things. We were talking about, by 2020, about 7 billion connected things. But what we see is probably it's going to happen in this year itself. It's not going to wait for 2020. So a lot of things that we anticipated are going to happen in future are in much more advanced stage and a very, very much reality today. So all of this is actually happening today and now. And if we look at how things are impacting us in our lives, I talk about 3 things. You know, in our personal lives, we are getting into connected homes. I'm sure all of you would now be getting used to and seeing, in fact, a lot of television ads are also coming about how my refrigerator can be controlled remotely from outside, how if I'm on a vacation and I have not switched off the lights, my lights can get switched off, and so on and so forth. And these are still the very basic forms of connected homes, and a lot more is happening. Video surveillance and secure home is becoming part of the connected home. As part of connected work, today, wherever we all may be, the work continues and probably more efficiently than when we are not in office. Because of the tools and technology available and secure communication available, we are actually able to perform our normal duties from anywhere in the world. No more are we confined to our office, to our desk, to be able to do a job. So connected work is now part of our normal life. And something which a lot of you here are involved in, which is the connected community. With the smart cities coming in, digital citizens coming in, the e-governance happening across various initiatives across various states, actually we are now also moving towards the connected community. So it's not only home, work, but the community which is now fully digitally connected and actually moving ahead in a fast pace in terms of technology advancement. But with all of this happening, there are a lot of challenges that come. And when we go and speak to a lot of people who are sitting here, a lot of people on the business side, we hear 3 key challenges that come our way. And I would just like to talk a little bit about that. The first and foremost challenge that comes, that people talk about, is security. With the kind of threats that are coming in, we talk about a cyber crime happening every 10 minutes, and the incidents are increasing by the day. There are times when, you know, the whole, there is also so much about the Trump election campaign that is happening, and there is a movie or documentary out which says how digitally using, you know, I won't call it cyber crime, but using cyber efforts, we were able to manipulate a lot of things. So this is becoming a reality now. And how do departments like yours, where there is a lot of confidential information flowing around, how can you take care of this issue is something that a lot of concern, a lot of you have shared with us. Second thing that a lot of people talk about is customization. Gone are the days when people used to take off-the-shelf applications, off-the-shelf solutions, and just use it and try and fit your workspace into that. Today, everybody wants something customized to my requirement. I want it the way I need it. Why should I take something which is the regular stuff? I need to customize it for myself. And hence, how is that possible? Because there are enough and more tools available which can customize it, make it more productive, make it more efficient for my department's use, my function's use. And all of it, we want it within a less cost. We don't want customized products available, which means a higher cost. Hence, cost, of course, becomes a basic requirement that needs to be adhered to. The third feedback that we all got was, how do we operationalize it? There is a lot of cultural change, like ma'am talked about. This is technology, this is IT department. This is not me. But how can we seamlessly operationalize it across the common users, the Anganwadi workers, or people who are not so literate? How can they just use these digital tools available and be able to deliver what is required for the department or the government? How can that be operationalized seamlessly? So these were the three feedbacks that we got. Security, how can it be customized to my requirement, and how can I smoothly operationalize it? And that's where I would like to talk about how Samsung, as a major force on the digital mobility side, comes in and helps department like yours to be able to overcome these. Before I talk about more, I just wanted to share that Samsung is one of the only two companies globally which have their own devices. We manufacture our own devices, our own factories. We have our own processors, own chips, and also we have our own network. A lot of you may already know that the largest 4G network in India, Jio, runs on Samsung network. So the entire network is provided by Samsung, and that today is also one of the largest globally in terms of a 4G network and the kind of data that transfers through that. So we are the only one of the two companies that are there, the other company being a company out of China, who actually owns the end-to-end technology as far as digital mobility is concerned. And that then ensures security, the standard of product, and the innovation that goes along with it. Basis that, I'll just like to talk about three things on how Samsung comes in to help the issues that were raised by a lot of you. The first thing that I talk about is security. Security, we have something called Knox. Knox, as all of you may know, is actually, it's Fort Knox in US. We get the name from there, which was actually used to safely store a lot of gold of US. And hence we called it Knox because this is defense gate security platform that is available on all Samsung devices. This is a platform which is at the root of the device, at the hardware level. Most of the solutions are available at an operating software level, which is at a software level. But Samsung provides Knox, which is at the hardware level and hence far less or far more impregnable actually. In fact, it's been recognized by 29 countries as the gold standard, and be it Gartner or be it the authorities on the GSMA, they all rate Knox at the top quadrant from the security point of view. In fact, we have more than 1 billion devices which are operating on Knox today. So from a security point of view, rest assured for any secure government communication that you want to do, Knox is a gold standard and will be able to guarantee as secure a communication as anybody else, or far better than anybody else can offer. Second thing I would like to talk about is solutions. I talked about Knox. Actually, Knox is an enterprise platform which has a lot of services, security being one of them. The second service that I want to talk about from a solution perspective is Knox Configure. We talked about customization that is required. A lot of departments have come back to us and said that they want to run an application, a device with only their application. They don't want to run multiple applications there. They don't want to have the standard applications that are already available on a mobile. We can do that through Knox Configure. We can actually make the APIs of our phone. APIs are basically, we open the doors of our phone for the applications to get far deeper integrated into the devices. Let me give you some examples. It's not working. We did this, for a woman-child deployment, we actually did in various states. In fact, yesterday, the Deputy CM of Delhi inaugurated the Anganwadi workers, then they distributed the devices, and he had a special mention about the Samsung devices that were being given because of the quality. And what we have done there is, we've actually done this in multiple states, that we've actually removed everything else from the device, and only the application runs, which means the device is not available to be used for anything else. Even on the Google side, we can actually whitelist or blacklist the websites or the URLs, which means if the department wants to run only 4 websites, 4 URLs, we'll allow them, and nothing else can be done. So we can whitelist and blacklist URLs using the Knox Configure platform. With some state government, they also needed that once the mobile phone boots up, their department logo or their mission statement should come up as the wallpaper. We can do that as well in terms of customizing the device for you. So those are some of the things that we've done for women and child in terms of the deployment. In fact, one of the biggest things was we also did remote deployment of applications. So the applications were remotely deployed. I'll talk about that later. But another case wherein the postal bank, we gave about 100,000 devices to the postmen, and they are supposed to do banking on those devices. And one of the things, again, because this happens in rural India, charging becomes a problem, you need to conserve battery, we killed all other applications. Only the application of the bank was running so that they could get the best out of the device. We also enabled GPS in the sense that the postman was not supposed to switch on or switch off the GPS. Someone can say, I forgot. It automatically gets switched on from a certain point of time in the morning to a certain point of time in the evening. We can define that. And those are the kind of customizations that we can do on your applications working with Samsung. The third thing and the last thing that I want to talk about after security solutions is services. We talked about operationalizing becoming a problem. How do we operationalize various applications, various things that we need to roll out across the state? How do we do that? And that's where another product of the Knox platform I talked about. I talked about Knox Security. I talked about Knox Configure. And there is Knox Manage. Suppose you have to deploy 10,000 devices across the state with certain applications. Now, there are 2 ways to do it. One is you get the devices in the office, load the applications in everything, and then send it out. The other way, using Samsung Knox Configure, what you can do, Samsung Knox Manage, what you can do is, let's say these are the 10,000 people who need to be given the devices. This set of 5,000 people needed an application A and an application B. And these set of 5,000 needed an application C and D. You can actually remotely program it. The moment each one of you will open your devices and connect to Wi-Fi or 4G, your applications will get downloaded and your applications will get downloaded. So we can actually configure it in a way that you can easily operationalize it sitting at the remote end, and then your admin actually enabling who all needs what applications, and they're all happening over the air. No need required to bring the device to the office, load it, pack it back, send it. A lot of breakage happens in transit again. Nothing to be done. So using Knox Manage, you can configure all of that. Not only that, you can actually also do in terms of if one device is lost so that the data is kept secure, you can disable it remotely. You don't need to really worry about data getting lost or a security point of view. We've done this for Indian Railways. We actually converted into kiosk mode, no other application running. All applications were remotely pushed across for Indian Railways, and we removed any unwanted backend services that were there. So all of that was remotely done for Indian Railways. Also, we did it for police department in Hyderabad, wherein the same device, same application was separately being used by traffic police, by regular police, and also citizens, and different rights were given on the device for different people. Different hierarchy got different rights, all of it done remotely. You don't need to do anything physically with the device. So convenient then the operationalizing all of this becomes that they can be deployed on field without any problem. Besides this platform that is there, of course, we as Samsung operate in more than 3,000 service centers across the country, available at almost all taluka levels. And hence, if the situation may so arise, we are there to be able to take care of your service. So we, by far, have the biggest service network across the country to be able to take care of any such consequence. So again, if I look at security, if I look at customization and now operationalization, all of these factors help the departments to deploy their solutions seamlessly across in the state. We've worked with a lot of these departments, and I've given you examples, so I won't spend more time on this. We also have custom tablets like Galaxy Active. This is a rugged tablet. It is a break-free. It's a waterproof, IP68, dust-proof, heat-proof tablet, which can be used in some rugged conditions. These are specifically available in India as well. So I'll skip this. And we have tablets which are custom-made for fingerprint, for Aadhaar if required, with a printer, so people can get receipts right there and then if they are collecting money for services, etc., for civil services, etc. Lastly, I would just like to say that why Samsung? Samsung in India is more than 20 years old. We've been manufacturing in India for more than 18 years. We have 2 manufacturing facilities in India. The largest being in Noida, which is the world's largest single mobile factory, where we have the capacity to manufacture 10 million mobiles per month. We have more than 45,000 employees, and we have the 5 R&D centers based out of India, which do global R&D. This was when the inauguration of our factory happened by Mr. Narendra Modi last year. That's all from my side. Thank you for making Samsung as the most trusted brand across multiple years and also as the most attractive brand. As I sign off, I would just like to show you a small AV on what and how Samsung technology enables a lot of solutions in simple life. Thank you so much.
When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be?
Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Is what she said to me. Que sera, sera.